Manitowoc man facing 10 counts of possession of child pornography pleaded not guilty in Manitowoc County Court today. The criminal complaint against 39-year-old Justin Zipperer says that he downloaded and attempted to share suspected child abuse material of young children. Zipperer is now free on a $5,000 cash bond. In court today, the judge denying his request to modify bond and conditions related to his release, including the use of internet and contact with anyone under 18. Zipperer will be back in court in September.